No tutorial. Maybe it's over here. Scav PMC. Is it under that? I don't see the tutorial level. Where's the tutorial level? What the f is this? What are these people? Where's tutorial? What the f is this? Where's my tutorial? What the f? What's shaking, nerds? Welcome back to another video. My name's Geekseh, and today I'm going to be your tutorial level for Escape from Tarkov. This game does not hold your hand. It is very, very discouraging sometimes because you're just like, how did I die? How did I just die? And most of the time, guys, it's probably because you don't understand the game well enough. And that's what my job today is going to be, is to help you understand the game more. So today we're going to be breaking down what MedKits do. It's not as simple as just one item heals all. It's way more than that. I'm going to be showing you what map you should start on first, what gear you should be using, where to sell your items, what items you should be keeping and what items you should be selling, basic and advanced controls, and I'm going to be showing you guys so much more. I'm going to be telling you little tidbits along the way. So let's just jump in here right away, and I'm going to show you where I start. The first place we want to go into is our character screen. And here, you're gonna see everything you get to start with. You get to start with some tactical rigs, 2 backpacks, you get an assault rifle, you get 6 pistols, you get some magazines for it, some bullets for it, and 300 rubles. If you guys don't know, rubles is the main currency of the game, so that's something to keep in mind. And you also have a whole bunch of items that are blacked out here, and to reveal them, you have to search them. You can either right click on them if you want, or an easier, faster way is just press the middlemost button. So we're gonna do that and just reveal everything in our inventory. While we're doing that, we might as well go to our trading screen and see all the traders. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just reveal everything that they have because a lot of their items we haven't searched yet. So we're just gonna do that to everything. And one thing I want to point out, in the bottom right corner, you'll see that we're gaining experience. Every time you do this to an item you haven't found yet, you gain a little bit of experience. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's now get ready for our first raid. What I'm going to tell you guys to do right off the bat is take pretty much everything off. Just put everything into your inventory, and all we're going to do is use a pistol. You can pick between which pistol you want to use. I'm just picking this one. And if you don't know which pistol ammo goes in what, all you have to do is unload it and then just put the other one in just to double check, you know what I mean? I'm not going to use that. I am going to bring extra bullets, and I'm going to bring one of each med. Now this is something really important. I'm putting it into my alpha container. I'm bringing 1 extra cheese up there, and I'm going to show you guys why right now. So this pouch section is where your alpha goes. So if you have the base version of the game, you get an alpha. If you have the Edge of Darkness edition, you get the Gamma, which is a 3x3. Whatever it is, guys, they all do the same thing. Whatever is in this container, even if you die, you get to keep. So if you find a task item that you really need, put it in here. If you find a super rare key, or if you find rubles, everything that you put in here, even if you die, you get to keep. Just remember that. It's really important for this game, guys. So I put 1 of each med type into my pouch just in case we need it, and I even put an extra AI2 up in my pockets. And you guys might not know what each and every med does, so let me break it down for you the easiest way I know, and that's with kind of fancy screens here. Let's go to the fancy screens. This is your starter med kit. It's called the AI2, or some people refer to it as pieces of cheese. All this does is restores HP. It can heal 100 points of HP, just 1 of these, and the max heal per use is 50. So say, you have 70 damage to your leg. If you put this on your leg, it'll only heal 50, and then you have to use it again. Now, a bandage doesn't heal HP at all. it actually just removes an ailment called blood loss. So what happens is if you get into a really big gunfight and say you win, but you're really hurt, a lot of times you're going to have this symbol somewhere on your body. And if this symbol comes up, what it means is even if every single ligament of yours, everything is at full 100% HP, you're still going to be losing HP over time. The more you run, the more blood's going to come out, so you're going to lose HP faster. And that's because you have a wound that you have to use a bandage on. So you have to remove that blood loss. And the only way to do that is with this bandage. The immobilizing splint is the last of the 3 health items you start with. It removes fractures, so let's just say you fall from a really high cliff or you get into a gunfight and something breaks. The splint is going to remove the fracture, so you're going to see this symbol somewhere on your body. What this does is, say you have a fracture on your leg, what you're going to have to do now is you're going to only be able to limp, and your speed is cut in half. Or say it's on your arm, your aiming's really, really terrible. You're not going to be able to aim precisely. So this is something really good to have because you don't want to pimp walk to extract. I'll tell you that right now. People will peg you off really easily. Another item you can get from Therapist level 1, but you just don't start in your inventory right away, is a thing called painkillers. And what they do is, say you get into a gunfight and you get one of your limbs blacked out. And what that means is, say your arm is 75 HP out of 75. If you get into a gunfight and it goes down to 0, you can't heal it. It doesn't matter if you have an AI2 or a bandage or a splint, it's gone. So what you can do is you can pop one of these painkillers and it'll be like nothing happened for 230 seconds. Or say this happens to your leg. If your leg gets blacked out, you're pimp walking everywhere. So it's always good to have painkillers also, because if you do get something blacked out, you can pop a painkiller and just get to extract as soon as possible. I don't want to discourage you and be like, shit, I need to bring like 6 friggin' first aid items always in with me at the raid. You don't. Eventually you unlock better first aid kits, and these first aid kits will not only restore HP, but they will restore blood loss. So that means they're acting like a bandage and an AI2 in one. So don't get discouraged. Eventually you'll unlock these and you won't have to worry about carrying around bandages anymore. Hell, down the road, you actually get the Grizzly first aid unlocked. And not only does this restore HP, not only does it remove the blood loss, but it also removes fractures. But the downside to this is it is a 2x2 item, which means it does take up a lot of space in either your gamma, in your backpack, or in your rig. But just to let you know, there is an ultimate first aid kit. It just does have a downside also. When you first go to Escape from Tarkov here, so we can get to go play a map, you're going to see you're going to be able to choose either your PMC, which is your main character, or you're going to be able to choose a scav. When you're playing as a PMC, you're going to be fighting real players and you're going to be fighting computer players, which are called scavs on the map. They usually don't have a lot of good equipment on them, and usually they're just bots, but sometimes they do headshot you from fucking 50 yards away, but we'll get into that later. So you can play as one of these bots. So what happens is if you jump into a match as a scav, the other scavs aren't going to attack you because you're a friendly to them. But you have to remember that once you do attack one scav, the rest will turn on you. The cool thing about this is it doesn't cost you any rubles for whatever random setup you have. The scav that you have up is always random, so you might get a different gun next time, you might get a different everything's different about them. But the cool thing is if you survive as a scav, then you get to keep whatever you got on the map. So if you kill one juicy player as a scav and you make it out of there, you get all their juicy loot. It's awesome, it's great. But you have to remember there is a cooldown on being a scav. So if you die as a scav, you have to wait 10 more minutes till you can play as one again. We are going to be playing as our PMC though, and now we get to choose one of the 6 maps that are available to us. There are a lot of maps on here, but there are only 6 that we can choose, and in point 12 coming, there's going to be an extra map added. But the one that I'm going to tell you guys to be focused on and learn first is Customs. This is the map you want to play first. A lot of the starting tasks are on customs, and to be honest, I just think it's the easiest map to learn. It's just really simplistic. It's either west to east or you're going to east to west. There's not much north to south. It's not that big of a map, so this is the easiest one to wrap your head around at first. The other thing I really like about this is the main extracts are always the same for the player. It just is dependent on where you start on the map. So by extracts, if you guys don't know, every map has a different timer. So, you know, one map could be 50 minutes, another map could be 30, some could be 60, some could be 55 minutes. And all that means is you have to get to one of your extract points within that time to survive, because if you don't, you die. So with customs, if you start on the east side of the map, your main extract is always Crossroads. Where if you start on the west side of the map, your main extract is always ZB101. So this is really convenient for when you are a new player and you don't know all the extracts. It's hard to memorize them. So I like starting on customs because, again, it's really simplistic. As you can see, it's not that huge of a map. There's a lot to it, of course, but again, the main extracts are Crossroads and ZB101. It all depends on where you start, but I will show you in game on how to check which one you got to go to. You also get the choice of if you want to go daytime, which is the 15-13 obviously, or at nighttime. You can do a night raid, but I'm always going to tell you right now, start always on day maps. You always want to start on day maps. The next screen says I don't have a map in my inventory. You can, if you want, get a map from Therapist. It costs you some rubles. You can put it in your inventory, so it does take up one slot. But the map kind of sucks. It just doesn't look that good compared to this map that I just used. Now, what I'm going to tell you to do is, if you have a second monitor, if you have a tablet, if you have your phone handy, if you have a laptop, I'm going to put down a link down below to all the maps in game and detailed maps for each map. That sounds weird, but you get my drift. There's better maps on the internet than there is in the game, so don't buy a map unless you absolutely have to. I highly recommend just going to the link down below and opening it up on, again, your phone or your tablet and just follow along while you're playing. The next screen here is where, if you want to, you can enable offline mode. Offline mode is something that you should be using right away when you first get this game, because you don't know how to play, you don't know the map, you don't know the extracts. You should be enabling offline mode and just goofing around. The upside is you don't lose anything. But the downside is, say you kill like 20 scavs and you get all this good loot, you don't get to keep that loot at all. So remember, if you do enable offline mode, you can enable PvP if you want, or you can just run around the map alone just to learn it. And one other thing I want to let you guys know is, if you enable offline mode, use something you would use in raid. Don't be like, oh, I got this cool kit from this player, I'm scared to use, in a real online mode, I'm gonna try it in offline mode. There's no real point. You can try it, just have fun and whatnot, but you should be only using items that you're gonna use in online mode, so you get used to them more, so that you get the feel for them. And other than that, just have fun. Offline mode, you can have a lot of fun, and you can enable it so that the AI difficulty is hard, easy. I like to keep everything as online so it stays consistent as if I was playing an online raid. There are a couple more things that I want to show you guys before we go into our first online raid. And the next thing I want to show you is we have to go back to our trader screen. In this game, you also get given tasks or quests from every trader. Some of them have tasks for you right away, and some you have to wait until you're a certain level. In the top right corner, you can see that your only current level with Prapper is level 1. To get them to level 2, where you can buy, better guns, better ammo, you have to do some certain tasks. So one is you have to be level 5. The second one is your loyalty level has to be 0.2. And the third thing is you have to spend 1 million rubles with them. So it's either you buying stuff from them, or the stuff you sell to them also counts towards this number. Now, you completing tasks ups the loyalty level. So that 0.2, to up it, you have to complete tasks for Prapper. So let's go up to the taskbar here at the top, and let's accept his first task, its debut. To complete this task, we're gonna have to do two things. One is kill 5 scavs at customs, which we're going to be able to do because we're going to learn customs like the back of our hand, and it's going to be super easy. And the other thing is we're going to hand over 2 MP133 shotguns. Now, you do not have to find these in raid. Sometimes when you're doing tasks, it'll say find in raid, but this one isn't. So just a little advice, you guys, you can actually just buy these shotguns from Skier level 1. So if you want to cheese it a bit, don't worry about it. You can just grab it from Skier. But if we do complete this task, what we're going to get is 600 experience. Our loyalty level is going to go up 0.08. We're going to get 1 pistol, 3 magazines for it. We're going to get some rubles. And the other cool thing is we're going to unlock the ability to buy the AKS-74U from Prapper himself right away. So let's go do another task, and that is for Therapist. We're going to accept it. And as you can see, we have to find 5 Salua kits. Now, again, this isn't find in raid. So if this is later on in the wipe, if you start in the middle of a wipe, you can just go to the flea market and buy 5 Salua kits. If it is early wipe though, or just started to be wipe, the Salua kits can be really expensive. So I do have a video on where you can find Salua kits and the best places to go look for them. So if you want that, here's the link up above here, and it'll be down below in the description also. Now let's go see if anyone else has tasks. Nope, level 5 for Skier. Peacekeeper, nothing. Mechanic, 10. And Ragman, we have to be level 15. So these are the only 2 tasks we can complete. So let's go complete them. The last thing I want to show you before we go in raid though is the controls. I know it sounds silly, but there's so many basic and advanced controls in this game, and there's a lot of things people don't even know you can do, and I want to give you a little leg up on the competition. So I'm going to break down some basic and advanced controls just so you know before you get into raid. The first one I'm going to show you is shift. So while you're zooming in with the weapon or your ADS with your weapon, shift will hold your breath and it'll steady your aim, so you'll be able to get that headshot on that scavvy boy that you want. So we're looking down the scope without holding shift, and you'll be able to tell right away when I press shift. Boom, there's shift. Look at how centered that is now. So it's something you really should be using, even if you're just using iron sights. B switches between firing modes of a gun, so if your gun does have an automatic firing mode and a single fire mode, B will switch this up. So if you're shooting long range, go single fire. If you're going to get into some close quarter, you can get into automatic. This is something you should be switching back and forth, or if you just want, you can leave it on one or over the other. Something I just want to quickly show is in the bottom right hand corner, when I switch fire mode, it says I went into full auto. L makes it so you can inspect your weapon. If you press shift plus T, you can look in the chamber and see if there's a bullet in it. Tab will bring up your inventory. Alt T will take out your mag and check your remaining ammo and what type of ammo is in the gun. Again, looking at the bottom right, you can see that we have full ammo. We're using 5.5645 and it's M995. Pressing R just reloads your gun, but if you double tap R, you're going to do a quicker reload, but you have to remember your mag falls to the ground, and after your fight, just make sure you pick it back up. If you do have a flashlight or a laser on your gun, you can press T and it'll toggle it on and off. Some lasers you can switch their sights, so what that means is you might have the red laser on and you like green, so you can put on green by pressing Control T. Also, there's a thing called infrared laser, so at nighttime when you're using night vision goggles, it's better to use that. So some sites do have different reticles. So the PKO6, which I'm going to be using in this video, if you press Alt right click, it'll switch between, say, a red dot to a T red dot, and so forth and so forth. So to test that out, all you have to do is press Alt plus right mouse click. Later on down the road, you're going to be able to use a long-range scope and say a red dot sight, and to switch between them, you're going to press Control and right mouse click. G will toss your grenades. Now, C is to crouch. That's a basic movement skill, but to go to the next level of crouch, if you want, you can press C and then mouse wheel scroll up and down, and it'll crouch you a certain height. So you don't have to just do the generic C crouch. You can crouch just a little or just a lot. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you here. With Q and E, it'll let you lean left or right. Now to take up this leaning up a notch, if you press Alt D or Alt A, it'll slowly lean you right or slowly lean you left. To examine items, you can right click on them and then press examine, but a faster way to do this is just press the middle mouse button down. Pressing the delete key will drop items in your inventory. So if you pick up something you don't want, or you just want to quickly get rid of shit, just press delete. If you watch some EFT streamers, they might quickly put stuff into their either equipment slot or into their bag, and you wonder how did they do it so quickly without dragging the stuff onto it? Here's how you do it. So if you press Control left click, it puts the items into your bag and rig without dragging, and if you Alt left click, it equips items fast without dragging. And one last thing is to see how much time is left in the map, or if you want to see where your extractions are, you can either press O or you double tap O. So we're going to do our first online raid, and after this raid, I'm going to show you guys what to keep and what not to keep, how to get rid of gear fear, and where to sell everything to. Like if you have a gun, where do you sell the gun? And also during this online raid, I'm going to show you a couple little bit of tidbits on, you know, your equipment, when you're grabbing equipment, and so forth and so forth. So stick around here, you guys, we got a raid coming up. Just before we jump into our first raid, I want to show you guys 3 things that I think you should be on the hunt for, because they're such good trades early on. So if you guys don't know, you guys can trade items for other items to the dealers, and these are the 3 that are really common items that you'll find all around Tarkov, and they're worth their weight in gold when you find them, especially early game. So the first one is matches. If you can find 2 matches, which is very common, you can get 1 painkiller out of it. Great trade. You're going to be able to find a lot of matches early game, so stick them into your backpack, into your pockets, because painkillers are something you're going to be using over and over again. The next thing is duct tape. If you find 2 duct tape, it's a car first aid kit. And remember what I said, these car first aid kits act like a bandage and an AI2, but they're so much better. Like an AI2 only has 100 HP points it'll heal. This, 220. Again, duct tape, really common item. You're gonna find all around Tarkov, especially early game. These things are worth their weight in gold also. And the last thing is the Zippo lighter. Now, these aren't so common, but common enough that you will find them. And if you get 2 of them, you can trade them to Skier for a hand grenade. And hand grenades, that's where my game changed, you guys. Once I got a hold of grenades and I started using them, they're so deadly, especially if you're only using a handgun. And say you're in customs and you find the raid boss there, you can clear a good chunk of the raid bosses just with 1 grenade, grab their stuff, and then start mowing them down. So these are the 3 trades that I say are on the top of my list. So if you see these items and you have room, definitely snag them. So the screen right before you go into the map, it's called the insurance screen. So what you can do here is if you click on, say, your gun, you can insure it for some sort of amount of rubles. It depends. Every gun's different, all the equipment's different. If it's a really expensive gun, it's gonna cost you a lot more to insure. But what happens is, say you die from a scav, because it happens, even if you're fully geared, sometimes you die from just scavvy boys. Say you die from a scav, if no one picks up your equipment in that raid, you're gonna get it back in 24 hours. So you have to think, is this, is this handgun worth insuring right now? Like if I die, should I try to get this handgun back? No, I don't care. It's just a handgun. It's going to cost me quite a bit to insure it. So what's the point of insuring it? But there are some items you might want to insure when you're more, fully kitted, when you got armor and a helmet and a good gun. That's when you probably want to insure your items. So just remember that. When you first spawn, it shows you your timer, your exfils where you have to extract, and then it'll show you some other exfils that are question marks. So the exfils that are question marks means they might be open, they might not be. So with Smuggler's Boat, if we go there, there's usually a campfire on if it's available. So there's little cues like that, but a guaranteed exfil is, like I said, Crossroads. So that means we started on the west side of the map. Now, to get to Crossroads, it's all the way on the other side of the map in the east, but we do know it is available, so we're going to use that one. So here we're coming up to a place where I know has some loot boxes, so we're going to take a peek at what's inside here. Splints, always a good thing. We're gonna search whatever that is. It's a blood set. We don't really need it at the moment, but bandages, that's an army bandage. So that has 2 bandages in one, that green bandage there. I don't really have a lot of room for items, so right now I'm just looking for guns pretty much because our pockets are now full. So the only thing we can really grab now is pretty much just a gun. Okay, I hear a couple of shots off in the distance. I don't want to go after him because I only have a pistol, and I don't know if it's a player or a scav, so I'm just going to stay clear. We're going to come up to the 2-story dorm here. Okay, so we hear some massive gunfire. It's from an automatic AK or something. So I know that's definitely a player, so I want to stay away from that. So we're just gonna stay clear of dorms right now. We're not gonna go in here. I don't want a chance that there's a PMC in here and I only have a pistol and they probably have something way better. I'm coming up to an area where I know there's usually like a scabby boy, and there he is. There was a scabby boy. So usually there's one on this road. So I want to try to take him out so I can grab his stuff and we can get a little bit better loot. Okay, four times is the lucky number, I guess, not 3. So we killed him. I'm gonna reload here. I'm making sure that there's no one around. Also, I'm not rushing to him too fast because there is a chance someone else could be around, like another scav or whatnot. Not the greatest gun, but it is better than our pistol for sure. And we did get a rig out of this, which is really good. So we've got a rig, we got some rubles. I'm gonna take those rubles and I'm gonna put them definitely in our gamma. Or sorry, in our alpha. Sorry, I'm used to saying gamma. Coming into this hole in the wall, I know there's usually some scavs around here, so I'm just gonna take a peek. There is one. Boom, put him down. One shot, baby. Okay, I know in here there's a little crate we're gonna search. Nothing too important. Okay, I hear another scavvy boy. Oh, through a flashbang. Didn't get me though. And boom, boom. Sit down. I decided I do want that hex. Because it's gonna be worth something. Here's the thing, guys. The more you fill up, the better it is. And there's something that just happened, guys. We didn't have room in our rig. So if you don't have room for the clip in your rig, then you have to throw it. It'll be thrown out. So we got some armor from this guy. That's awesome. And we definitely got a way better rig. So we're gonna take that. Oh, I want that. And we're gonna get rid of that rig. Get rid of that rig. There we go. Again, splint's always good. I like that because again, I always want something on my face. It's a face cover, at least it covers half your face. And this is the end of the raid, guys. We're just gonna get to extraction. Extraction's very close to here. I'm just gonna pick up a couple more things. We finally got a backpack here. Backpacks are so useful at the beginning, so we're definitely taking that. And he has an extra TT pistol, we'll take that. One thing I didn't do in this raid, which I should have, is I definitely know he has ammunition, magazines or clips, sorry, in his rig. I didn't take them. That was a very foolish mistake of mine that, you know what, I didn't do. So now we're at extract. I'm gonna just check quickly this one van because it does have a 310 key sometimes in it. On the seat there, it's not there. And we're extracting. So there's a successful beginner raid. We got 2 new weapons out of it. 3 actually if you count the TT pistol. And now you're gonna go back to your inventory and you're gonna say to yourself, now what the hell do I keep? What do I sell? And where do I sell it to? Like, who do I sell this stuff to? And guys, I'm gonna jump into that right now. Now you come back to your inventory screen and you got all this stuff. You're wondering, okay, what do I keep here? Obviously we're gonna keep the main guns. The armor is always good. But what about that HDD drive? You know, the damaged hard drive, the hex, the red hex rail I have. Do I keep those? Do I need them for later for a task? I just don't know. So here's a picture, you guys, and I'm gonna put the link down below to this picture, and this is all the items you eventually need for tasks. So it's better to, you know, get ahead of things and know, okay, I do need, say, you know, 4 of those or 5 of those, or if I get these, or if, you know what, this isn't for a task at all, I don't know what it's even for, so let's just sell it. But now you have the issue of, where do you sell these items to? Like, what trader will give you the most money? And don't worry, I've got you right now. One really confusing aspect of selling items to traders is the fact that you would just think, hey, Prapper sells me ammo, I'd sell him ammo. Ragman sells me armor and such, I'm just gonna sell the armor to him because he'll probably sell or buy it back for the most. It's not true. It's actually quite the opposite most of the times. Now, this is the best rule possible if you want the most rubles, but remember, sometimes you do need to level up traders to get them to the next level, and if you want to do that, then sell to that one trader, but just know you are losing money doing that. So the first trader we're going to talk about is Prapper. The only thing you're really going to sell to him is grenades. For Therapist, 99% of the time, anything she will buy is the best price. And this goes for your barter items, your keys, your meds, and your electronics. Anything like tradable items and whatnot that you don't want to keep on hand. Now we have Skier. You should be selling any attachments that he will buy, sell it to him. Also, rigs and armor, sell to this man. For Peacekeeper, he will give you a good price on most items. He's very competitive with, say, along the lines of Mechanic. But the difference is, Peacekeeper's always going to buy your items in US currency. Now, in Tarkov, most items you're going to buy from most vendors is rubles. That is the base currency. But Peacekeeper, you buy stuff from him most of the time in US, and then he will buy stuff from you in US. So unless you're really wanting a lot of items from Peacekeeper, I'd stay away from him. For Mechanic, he's gonna buy all the remaining weapon mods that Skier won't buy, or full guns. But I'm gonna show you why you shouldn't be selling full guns right after this, I promise. Stay tuned, guys. It's a really good trick. He'll also buy ammo at the best price possible. And that leaves us with Ragman. Just don't sell anything to him unless you're trying to level him up. It's pretty much useless. So now you know what trader to sell every item to that you get, but I'm going to show you one little trick here, and that is how to sell your guns. You can't just sell them whole. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to show you here why you don't sell them whole. We've got a beautiful PP19 right here ready to sell, you guys. You know, look at this thing. Everyone wants this PP19. Everyone wants my PP19. What can I say? So we're going to try to sell it to Mechanic because that's who usually takes all the guns, right? Now, we're offered 53,352 rubles. That is good. But let's try to break this gun down into every single part it has. So we're going to strip it. Everything. Everything we can take off of this, we're going to take off. And like I was saying, we're gonna sell the attachments first to Skier. And we get an offer of 40,263 rubles. We'll sell that. Now we're gonna sell the rest to Mechanic. And we're gonna get 19,096 rubles. That is a profit, you guys, of 6,000 rubles. At the beginning, when you're dying a lot and you're just trying to just get another kit together, 6,000 rubles is a lot. You know, that is some ammunition, that is a med kit, that is something that you will need eventually. So pinching pennies and making sure you can get the most value out of whatever you're trying to sell, you need to do it. You need to do it, you guys. A really common term in the EFT community is the words gear fear, and that's where someone has gear fear over something they found, or they killed a player and they got something really cool from them, and they're just scared to use it. Don't be scared, you guys. Just sell it. That's my big tip. If you have an item that you're like, oh, I don't want to use this, it's too good. Well, it's sitting in your inventory isn't doing anything. So if you strip it down and sell it for parts or onto the flea market or something, you're gonna get a lot of rubles, and you'll be able to use that rubles for maybe 2 or 3 loadouts, and you'll be able to find better stuff or just stuff you'll use. So if I were you guys, if I'm sitting on something that I'm like, ooh, I don't want to sell this, I'm scared to, just sell it. That's my advice, just sell it. I really hope you nerds enjoyed this video. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I hope you can tell. And if you liked it, please hit the subscription button. It would mean a lot to me, and ring that bell or something. I don't know, something about YouTube bell, always ring it. Also, I do stream 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv. If you ever need any advice, or if I wasn't clear on something, just come on down, ask me, and I'll be happy to help. So until next time, nerds, I'll talk to you guys later.